Alright, today we're diving into a story that feels like it was practically made for the internet. It's this perfect, modern piece of folklore, kind of like a classic creepypasta. We are talking about the legend of the Aahat, this super chilling tale from a small village called Bhairavpur.
So it all starts with this one line. They say strange sounds of footsteps are heard here. I mean, that alone is enough to give you chills, right? This is the warning that gets whispered all around Bhairavpur. It's about this haunted mansion, a haveli, and a sound that means something is there that you can't see. But believe me, it definitely sees you.
Okay, so let's start where every good ghost story begins, the setting. We got to understand Bhairavpur, this village that's just completely gripped by a very specific and honestly a very personal kind of fear. So, the heart of this whole legend is the Aahat. Now in Hindi, this just means a sound, like footsteps. But in Bhairavpur, oh, it's so much more than that. It's basically the ghost's signature. It's the sound that warns you something absolutely horrifying is about to happen. It's the sound of something getting closer. And this is where our story really kicks off, with a character named Reena. She's just visiting the village, and like a lot of us would, she thinks all the local legends are just, superstitions. So what does she do? She walks right into the creepy old haveli on a dare. And it's in there, inside those crumbling walls, that she gets her first taste of the Aahat. She sees a second shadow on the wall when there should only be one, and then hears it. That faint, but totally unmistakable, sound of someone walking right behind her.
But here's the thing, Reena's spooky experience, it wasn't a one-off thing. The Aahat wasn't just messing with one person. It was like a plague of fear spreading across the whole village.
And this is what's so terrifying about the Aahat. It seems to adapt to its victims. It's not the same for everyone. So for Raghu, the town barber, it was this white specter he saw by the lake, and it literally drove him mad. Then you have Anared, the teacher, a total skeptic. For him, all it took was a chilling whisper in his ear on an empty road to completely shatter his worldview. For another villager, Savita, it was a dark figure that just appeared in her own courtyard. I mean, can you imagine? Even the local bus driver, Amar, quit his night shift after a phantom passenger just vanished from his seat. See, the Aahat makes the horror personal for everyone, which makes it feel totally inescapable. The fear in the village really hits a boiling point when this message shows up, supposedly written in blood, on a wall in the haveli. It's impossible to escape the Aahat. Okay, so this isn't just some random haunting anymore. This is a flat-out declaration. The ghost, or whatever it is talking to them, and its message is simple. You have no hope. Now, that kind of overwhelming fear can just paralyze people. But for a few folks in Bhairavpur, it actually lit a fire under them. It became the reason to act. So the story makes a big pivot here, from just pure terror to an actual investigation.
And so this really unlikely team comes together. First, you've got Reena, our original victim, who's now just driven by this need to find answers. She's joined by Anirudh, remember him? The skeptical teacher who's now a believer. And rounding out the group is DCP Arvind, a police officer who was sent in to basically debunk the whole thing, thinking it was just mass hysteria, until, of course, he had his own terrifying encounter.
So, united by this shared experience of absolute terror, the three of them decide to go right into the heart of the darkness itself, the haveli's basement. They're determined to finally figure out what's causing this curse.
And this is the big question, isn't it? What dark secret was buried down there? What could have possibly happened inside those walls that was so awful it could leave an echo, a sound powerful enough to haunt an entire village for decades? What are they about to find in that cold, dark basement?
And down there, in the basement, the source of the Aahat finally shows itself. This ghostly form starts to appear, and a voice echoes, not just in the room, but like inside their heads. I am Lalita, the mistress of this haveli. And just like that, they realize they're not investigating a what anymore. They're investigating a who.
Lalita's story, it turns out, is a tragedy from 100 years ago. Her own husband, just completely consumed by greed for her wealth, didn't just kill her, he buried her alive, right there, inside the basement walls. So the Aahat, that sound that's been terrorizing the entire village, it's the supernatural echo of her final, desperate footsteps as she was being sealed in. It's the sound of her own murder, just playing on a loop, for a century.
So they think they've got it figured out, right? They come up with a plan, destroy the body, end the curse. It makes sense, but this story has one last, absolutely horrifying twist waiting for them.
Their plan was pretty logical, straight out of every ghost story playbook. The promise was simple. Burn down the Haveli, destroy Lolita's remains, and her spirit will be freed. And for a little while, it actually seemed to work. But the reality was so much worse. You see, the Aahat was never really tied to her body, or even to the Haveli. It's more like a virus of a sound. Once you hear it, it latches onto you. It follows you.
And that brings us to the final terrifying scene. Weeks have passed. Rina is miles away from the ashes of that Haveli. She's alone in her room, thinking it's all over. And then she hears it. That slow, familiar, deliberate sound of footsteps. The Aahat. She didn't escape. She just took it with her.
So you see, the legend of the Aahat isn't really about a haunted house at all. It's about a haunting you can't contain. A horror that once you see it or hear it, it just becomes a part of you. The legend says the Aahat is a shadow that follows you everywhere. Which leaves us with just one question, really. When will you hear it next?